All right, here we go with our final chapter of Sideways Stories from Wayside School. So, you ready for the last chapter? I hope you like it. Chapter 30, Lewis. Lewis had a red face and a mustache of many colors. He was the yard teacher at Wayside School. It was his job to see that the children didn't have too much fun during lunch and recess. And if you haven't already guessed, he is the one who wrote this book. On June 10th, there was a blizzard. Lewis was afraid that the children would have too much fun, so nobody was allowed outside. "Class," said Mrs. Jules, "after you finish your lunch today, come back up to the classroom. You're not allowed outside today." The children all went to the lunchroom. Miss Mush had made tuna surprise. They looked at it, then hurried back up the stairs. There was nothing to do. "Now, class," said Mrs. Jules, "I know that you're all bored, but I have a special surprise for you." "I hope it's better than the tuna surprise," said Mauricia. Mrs. Jules continued, "Lewis is going to come up and entertain us. He's going to tell us a story. Now I want you all to be on your best behavior." When Lewis walked in, all the children booed. "Are you going to tell us a story?" asked Bebe. "Yes," said Lewis. "Well, it better be good," Bebe warned. "It better be better than the tuna surprise," said Butterfingers. "I thought that the tuna surprise was good," said Lewis. "You'd eat dirt if they put enough ketchup on it," said Mac. "Hey, everybody, be quiet," said Todd. "Let him tell the story." "Not too loud, Lewis," said Sherry. "I'm trying to get some sleep." Lewis sat in the middle of the room, and all the children gathered around. Lewis began his story. This is a story about a school very much like this one. But before we get started, there's something you ought to know so that you don't get confused. In this school, every classroom is on the same story. "Which one, the 18th?" asked Jenny. "No," said Lewis. "They're all on the ground. The school is only one story high." "Not much of a school," laughed Damien. Lewis continued, "Now you might think the children there are strange and silly. That's probably true. However, when I told them stories about you, they thought that you were strange and silly too." "Us?" the children answered. "How are we strange?" "I'm normal," said Stephen, "aren't I?" As normal as I am, Joe assured him. "The children at the school must be crazy," said Leslie. "Real Lulus," Mauricia agreed. "Tell us about them, Lewis," Bebe demanded. "For one thing," Lewis said, "none of these children has ever been turned into an apple." "That's silly," said Dee Dee. "Everybody's been turned into an apple. It's part of growing up." Lewis continued, "Dead rats don't walk into classrooms wearing raincoats." "What do they wear, tuxedos?" asked Todd. "And girls never try to sell their toes," Lewis added. "Well, no wonder," said Leslie, "at today's prices." Lewis continued, "They don't trade names or read upside down. They can't turn mosquitoes' bites into numbers. They don't count the hairs on their heads. The walls don't laugh, and 2 + 2 always equals 4. "How horrible," said Damien. "That's not the worst of it," said Lewis. "They have never tasted Mauritia-flavored ice cream." A hush fell over the classroom. "Mrs. Jules, I'm scared," said Allison. "Is there really a school like that?" "Of course not," said Mrs. Jules. "Lewis was just telling the story." "It was a good story," said Leslie. "I thought it was stupid," said Kathy. "I liked it," said Rondi. "It was funny." Mrs. Jules said, "Lewis, it was a very entertaining story, but we don't really go in for fairy tales here. I'm trying to teach my class about truth." "That's all right," said Lewis. "I have to go down to room 29 now and tell them a story." He started out the door. "Class," said Mrs. Jules, "let's all thank Lewis for the wonderful story." everybody booed. The end. I hope you loved it. If you did, tune in because I'm going to start on book 2 tomorrow. Have a great time, everybody. Thanks for listening.